As mentioned in the press announcement for this day, we are here to confirm the arrest of John Joseph Gleason, the elected county clerk of Genesee County. But before I go any farther, I want to assure those that are working in the clerk's office and in the Register of Deeds, those that work every day to interact with our public, with those that are coming to do business of the county, that those hard workers, they are to be commended, and that the actions of others do not define who they are. I know they're watching either now or later, and I want you to know that this team up here in the county that you serve appreciates your hard work. And I also can confirm that we have probably many questions that you may have that may not be answered today. But if you follow along and you are with us during this journey, a lot of this will roll out. I also want to talk to the victims in this case, the female victims. I promised you when we started that you would have a voice. Captain Nelson, the officer in charge of this case, promised you that you'd have a voice. Our prosecutor from Tuscola County, the special prosecutor, Mark Reen, promised you that you'd have a voice. And today, that voice is heard. And we're going to continue to protect you. I will also tell you that there are some issues that we are going to cover, aside from the arrest, but also what's next. And we're going to address the upcoming election and how the people of Genesee County can have faith in the system. So before I turn over to Mr. Reen, I will confirm that the warrant that Mr. Gleason was arraigned on just a few minutes ago was issued by the Tuscola County Prosecutor's Office and signed this morning by Judge Gwynn, sworn out by Captain Carrie Ann Nelson. And arrest was taken place, as we found where Mr. Gleason was, at the second floor of the Genesee County Clerk's building. It was without incident. He was brought over to the Genesee County Jail as we would any other felony arrest. He was processed through without incident. And as you can see behind me, he was arraigned a short ago. And we will continue this process as the prosecutor and the court and his defense will push through. And for that, and any more information reference the case details, I turn over to our prosecutor from Tuscola, Mark Reen. Prosecutor.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll initially comment, and I'll try to be as brief as possible. No one ever believes that, obviously, when an attorney steps forward. But today is a positive day for truth and justice. I initially like to make my comments, as I have to, and remind everyone that a criminal defendant is presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. That's the situation in Genesee County, in the state of Michigan, and in the United States. So we all keep that in mind as we proceed today. This has been a journey working through this case, and I initially have to comment about the great work that's been done by the Sheriff's Office, obviously the Sheriff and Captain Nelson, with the work that they've done in continuing to seek out the truth and the facts. And sometimes that's a short journey and sometimes it's a longer one. However, we're confident that we've got to the exact point we need to be today, and we've got it right, and that's why these charges were authorized at the time they were. I also want to comment about the victims. I've had the opportunity to learn in detail about what has transpired throughout this case. And I can tell you what I've learned is that they strike me as individuals who simply wanted to come to work, serve the public, and do a good job. And unfortunately, they encountered behavior that has resulted in our coming together today to address what has happened. I would also just like to mention at this point in time, as we've gone through this investigation, at various times people have come forward with more information about the defendant, other potential issues, and I, at this point, would invite you to provide that to the Genesee County Sheriff's Office and Captain Nelson. If you have more information that needs to be provided, now is the time to step forward and do that. I'd also like to make a brief comment about law enforcement in general and what you're quite frankly blessed to have in Genesee County. We're in an unprecedented time in this country in regard to the view toward law enforcement and what happens and what occurs. I can tell you my experience with this sheriff and this captain is the same, that they're concerned about the truth, they're concerned about the facts, and there is no other agenda. And I think that's more often the way things are in law enforcement across the country, but oftentimes is lost. So today, we move forward. As you heard, the dates, I believe there's a probable cause conference set for May 19th, a preliminary examination for May 25th. There'll be additional information and discussions that will become available when it can. At this point, I would again turn the matter back over to the sheriff. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We also want to recognize the hard work of Captain Carrie Ann Nelson, who was assigned this case from the beginning. These are some very difficult times to navigate, as mentioned by the prosecutor, but she stayed with it, and for that I appreciate it. The county appreciates it, and certainly the victims. I will tell you the third issue is the upcoming election, May 3rd. And you know, when you have both the clerk and the deputy clerk charged with criminal offenses in two separate incidences, it begs the question, what do we do to maintain the integrity of the system? And I have already been in communication this morning with Commissioner Dominique Clemens, who's the board chair, and he has summoned his colleagues, and there will be a time where they discuss the next best steps. That is not my jurisdiction, but I know that they have the best interests of the county at hand. They represent every inch of this county, all 9 commissioners, and I trust their judgment. And I will also ask that those watching, as mentioned by Mr. Reen, that you come forward and you feel comfortable enough with this office, as I think we've proven over many years, to tell your story. As a victim out there may have said something or heard something that you feel that you have not been able to come forth, as Captain Nelson has been introduced, she will hear you. And as we take this journey together as a community, I trust you that the right people in the right spots will make the right decisions to have an election, and we will continue with this process. There's going to be a time that we need to heal and restore faith, and today starts that time. Thank you for taking your moments to hear what we have to say, and again, stay tuned for additional updates as we proceed. Thank you, and thank you. Good day.
Can we ask Mark a question or anything like that? Mark?